Hey guys, and welcome to another video. This is going to be sort of a combo video where I'm going to, it's a beginner video for like people that are new to the game, that are looking for sort of like tips and tricks on how to go through the story and stuff, and what to look for and what not to worry about and stuff. As well as it's going to serve as an early guide for my bowgun, which I will be converting to on this character when I can. I'm going to be using Firebomb shot, but I'm going to be starting the game with Piercing Arrow. I like Piercing Arrow if you're going to be an archer, because it has good clear and has good single target damage, doesn't require a lot of fancy stuff. It doesn't require a lot of link runes to do well. It'll get you through the story nice and quick. So we're going to go from there, and then when we get to Act 10 and we are able to, we are going to switch to bowgun. I will have a few advantages here in that because of this season, I have access to some stuff that I probably wouldn't have access to right away otherwise. I was given selection boxes for uniques, so I'll be able to use the low tier version of my bowgun at 46, which is great. I will be able to use it earlier than I can actually get the bowgun skill. The other thing I'm going to have access to is the, what are these called? The Leg Bone of the Wind boots, which are just super, super fast boots, which is going to make breezing through the story just a breeze. So yeah, we're gonna go through the story. I'm gonna talk about when I make changes and why I make those changes, and just suggestions along the way. And you can follow along. So I don't know. Let's go. Okay, first thing, you've made it to town. You get your pips and stuff out of the way. You open all your boxes. First thing I like to do is always come up to the register, the Rune Hunter Registry, the God's Blessing, whatever you want to call it. Because this is going to help a bunch of things early on. So plus 60 movement speed, great help just getting through the game faster, as well as dodging things and whatnot. On the second page, I always like to do item drop rarity, and now because of the changes to the dismantle system, I really recommend taking double drop chance on disassemble for the start. This is going to let you get more of the Krako Shoddy fragments, which you can use at the disassemble shop to get the link runes and skill runes that you need early on and help you out. Really, really recommend this early on. Outside of that, there's not really too much to worry about here when we start the game. Pick your skills, slap it on, and get a couple of link runes. So we should have somewhere in here skills. Did we not get any skills with this? No, we have to purchase them. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to be taking Piercing Arrow, as I said, because I feel like it's a really solid starter skill. Apparently we can't put any extra link runes because I thought we would get a selection box, but we didn't. That's fine. I always recommend with your first skill to take, if it's a spell, to take quick cast, and if it's an attack, take quick attack. Worrying about the damage early on isn't as big of a deal. Just being able to put out the attacks faster is going to be the way to go. So we're going to slap this in here. We're going to grab one of these. Bam. And we're going to throw it on, and that's all we have to do. Now, we do want a movement skill as well. Typically, early on, I recommend roll. It's not a great move skill. In fact, it's probably one of the less good movement skills. But early game, it will let you get around enemies quickly. It'll give you a little bit of a dodge buff and a little bit of movement speed, which is great. The other thing I like to do, as soon as I get them, any selection boxes for potions, I take movement speed elixirs, again, so because we want to get through the early parts of the story as quickly as we can, so getting movement speed elixir is the way to go. That's it for the start. I'll see you in the next section, whenever that is. I don't know. Okay, one thing I do recommend, because it takes 2 seconds to do, is go to the gear shop as soon as you start. Go way down to the bottom here, and you've got your random stuff. Depending what your character needs, just get one of your weapon. Okay, the mysterious ones, because they're going to give you rare, which is going to have 6 mods right out of the gate. This is going to give you a huge leg up early on. So I got a quiver, a bow, and then one of each piece of armor, and a belt, ring, and necklace, okay? And that's great. I'm going to equip all that, and I'll have a huge leg up, especially if you get boots that have move speed. That is a huge help as well. Okay, we've reached Act 2. We can now enchant our runes and stuff. The one thing you do want to pay attention to as you progress, now I have a lot of materials because I've got things as rewards from previous seasons. If you're new to the game or you don't have anything extra, one of the things you want to make sure you do is 100% cover the areas as you go through. You will get birth essences, or sorry, you will get ore, which you can use for birth essences to quickly get yourself a 6 link. Now I already have the materials to do so, so I'm going to 6 link this thing and do some other stuff. The things you want to get in this act, you want to make sure you get a copy of Marksman. It is your enhanced skill. Enhanced skills are good. Get a copy of it as soon as you can. You're going to get 2 links for it. You're going to get the magic cooldown one. I can never remember the name of that one. What's it called? Where is it? Time acceleration. And then you're going to want the green for increased duration when you can get it. And you're going to link both of those to it so that it cools down fast and you can use it more often. Also, grab yourself a copy of use count for your move skill. And then when you can, get a copy of disarm so your move skill will go up faster. Piercing arrow, at this point in the game, there's not much you can put on it. But again, I'm going to 6 link it. So I'm going to be using quick attack, confidence, additional physical damage, attack damage increase, and hunger. That way I got some life absorb, I got some more attack, and I got extra attack speed. So hopefully that'll, make it easy to get through this act nice and quick. I also had a blue selection box for skills, so I got myself a copy of Seal of Condensed Destruction. It is something that I definitely recommend no matter where you are. Getting that attack seal early is really nice. It's not optimal. You are going to want Seal of Striking eventually, but this will do because it's just a blue box, easy to get. Nothing you can link with this yet, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's everything we're going to do here. I'm going to just rip through this act, and I'll see you at the next act, I guess. Now, in my previous videos, I've talked about something that I just made the same mistake as everybody else. Read the damn runes. I bought Hunger, and I was like, oh yeah, hit point on attack. Cool, that'll be great. But I didn't read the tags. Melee, attack, strike. I can't use it on my skill. Make sure you read stuff, especially when it comes to taking things from selection boxes before you select it. Don't make the same mistake I just did. Luckily, this was just from the shop, and it's not a big deal, but don't make this mistake. Make sure you read the things that it links with before you just slap it on or select it and then try to slap it on and it won't work. Okay, we're into Act 3. As you can see, I am wearing the exact same gear I finished that I purchased at the beginning of Act 1. Gear doesn't make a massive difference yet. By the end of this act, I will definitely have picked up some gear. In fact, I might have already picked up some gear, and I'm going to check and see if any of that's worth me equipping. When it comes to early game, the things you should work on most are resistances. Resistances, hit points, armor, that kind of thing. So something like this helmet, while this helmet isn't very good, it does have 3 different resistances and hit points on it. So I'm not going to switch this helmet, even though I have another helmet that's higher level. Higher doesn't always mean better in this kind of case. Gloves also have triple poison or triple resist. Little bit of attack speed or whatever I'm going to get from this isn't necessarily worth it. This does have 2 resistances, and it's got item drop rarity, so it's like almost kind of worth it, but really it's not worth the time. Now, movement speed on boots, this is an upgrade because it's got more move speed. Move speed, especially going through the story, you move fucking slow. So getting some move speed can really, really help you. So I'm going to switch that. But that's the only thing I'm switching right now. I'm not going to bother switching anything else. My setup has not really changed. I'm using the same stuff. The only thing I am going to get is now that I'm in Act 3, buy yourself a copy of Time Acceleration, buy yourself a copy of Increased Duration for your Marksman. And really, that's it. There's no other major changes in Act 3. Start thinking about your resistances so that you're not in the toilet. So I'm going to be looking for something that's got some lightning resist to try and bring this up. Chaos isn't a big deal yet. You don't have to really worry about chaos resist. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing to report. On to Act 4. Okay, here we are in Act 4. Again, as you can see, I have not changed my gear, minus the boots, which I only changed for the move speed. My rune board has not changed. I did level these up. Enemies are taking a little bit longer to kill now, so I am going to see if I can get a new bow. I will probably... Actually, here, you know what? Let's just do it right now. We're going to go to the gear shop. We're going to go down to the unique, the weapons, go down to here. And we want a mysterious bow, not a steel bow, because steel bows are for minions and sentries. So we're going to go with this guy, and we're going to see what it's like. 6. I know we can do higher than that, so we're going to try again. We got a 14. Poison damage, gear crit rate. Now, we're not going to be going crit out of the gate. So overall, this is not a weapon we'd want. We got the time, we got the money. Let's get another one. Now, I won't have the stats to use either one, because I need to put dexterity in. So what we're really looking for here is just, ideally, some physical damage would be great. Again, another 6. Attack speed would be good. Attack damage would be good. So this is already better than what we're using. So, I mean, we're going to equip that right now, and then if we find a better one, we'll use that one as well. Which one was it? It was you. Okay, so there's that. Also, we'll probably do a quiver as well. We're going to disassemble the rest of this, because it doesn't look like any of this is anything we'd really want. No. So we're going to disassemble the gear. Some of those disassemble thingies. And then back into the gear shop. Again, we're probably just going to, you know, spend a little tiny bit of time here. Again, overall, our damage and stuff doesn't matter nearly as much right now. We're going to be able to blaze through this sort of no matter what. Attack, damage, speed, okay, that's all more or less the same. We'd really like to get a 14 with better stats. That's a crit base. We're not going to be crit. Let's just get 14. Another crit base. Fire damage, attack damage, attack damage. It's significantly better than what we had, even though it's fire damage. Let's get some dex quick, and we'll slap that on. So we'll do 45 into here, and we'll do 45 into there. Keep our health up, keep our armor up. So what is this compared to what we've got? A little bit slower, way higher attack. We'll probably take that. Again, we don't need to worry too much about optimizing anything. We are just incredibly early in the game. Tier 6. Again, we'd like to get one that's at least appropriate level. There's a 14. Critical damage. Light. Nah, that's nothing we want. Try to get another 14 here. Go. Switch. Attack critical rate. Again, we're not going to be using crit. A couple more here. I can't tell which one's which. There we go. This one's got it's got hit point on kill, it's got hit points, and it's got physical damage. That's good enough for now. We don't need to get too advanced here. We're just trying to get through the story. Now I could do the same thing with the rest of my gear, because it's enough of a gap. I didn't bother switching the 1s to the 6s because there wasn't a big enough difference. And with the rest of this stuff, there's probably not. If I happen to pick up some rings or something, some flat physical rings would be great. If I got a belt that was higher stats or something. But for the most part, what we've got is fine. We're very close to being able to use our boots. Oh no, never mind. That's the wrong thing. It's the bow gun we can use, but we can't actually use it because we don't have any skills that can use it. 73, really? Dang, okay. Anyways, guys. there's all we're gonna do for this act. There's no things we could get. We could get Shout of Provocation linked to our move skill, but we don't need to do that. It's too early to worry about that kind of thing. There's no good link runes to really worry about. You could go with decreased duration on your enhanced skill to try and make it stronger, but really, unless you've already got a link spot open for it, it's not worth the effort. Center of Gravity is something we could get, but honestly, it's not going to make much of a difference where we are. We could do Pierce Wound because it's a pierce-based thing, but really, again, not particularly worth it. Overall, Act 4 is just sort of like, just get it done. I'm going to record a bit of this here, Act 4, just so you guys can see how the build is doing in Act 4. This is how it currently plays. Yours might be different, but, I mean, obviously it's very effective. It's moving along nice and smooth. Nothing to worry about. Okay, you've done it. You've made it to Act 5. This is where I go non-crit. Now, I go non-crit here because it's going to save me a lot of hassle for the first part of the game. Until, like, mid-mapping, I will be going non-crit. So the only thing you have to do here to get that is grab yourself a copy of Persistence and slap it on your available skill. Obviously, I'm going to have to recolor this. And then when you get enough points, I actually might have enough points already. I do. You're going to come through to get Distorted Senses. You don't have to go all the way over to Rainbow Bridge if you don't want. I'm going to because I want the move speed to get through this. The other thing I will be doing here is getting the points eventually up to Group Defense. This build is kind of squishy, and it doesn't have access to a lot of damage taken dampening, especially early on. So we're going to go 7 points across to Group Defense. Obviously, we get some other damage against elites and stuff in here, which is not bad. But yeah, that's where we're going to be going. The specialty. Now, I've gone into here because this is where we're going to end up with our points. Now, you could have moved the points around anyway, but this is where we're going to end up doing bowgun things eventually. So I put the points there. I realized when I talked about the last act, I didn't show where my points have gone, so I'm going to show that really quick here. First one's obvious, no-brainer. Second one, pretty no-brainer. Now here, I do go down into Gold Hunter. It does affect your hit points, but early on in the game, until you get to, you know, like monster level 144, 145, somewhere in there, your hit points really shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to kill most things before it becomes a major problem anyway. And then up into here, over to Destructive Power, and up into here into Material Strengthening. Now, when we switch to Firebomb Shot, we'll be switching to here because we want the area damage and the area of effect, so we can get overlap with our Firebomb Shot, but that's not going to help us right now because we don't do area, so we're going through here. We're going to get these 7 points, and we're going to get this point here probably. I debated whether I should go down into here to get... Actually, you know what? I will. I'm going to end up going down into here to get this hit point absorb on attack. You can get it in a lot of places, but right now, I mean, that's not a bad place to get it, and it saves us having to worry about crafting or anything, because we can't early on. Or sorry, I shouldn't say crafting. Worry about gear as much. We can get it from here, and then we don't have to worry about it getting it anywhere on our gear. So that's it for Act 5. I'll see you in Act 6 when we get access to jewels. Okay, kids, we're in Act 6. We now gain access to both jewels and charms. Now, first on our list for charms is going to be Hamal. Even though the skill we're using is fire, we are going to be converting it to physical, at least with my testing. That's what I'm going to be going with. That potentially could change, but that's what likely we're going to end up going with. So because of that, Hamal is going to be our best choice. It's going to give us hit point amp to help counter some of the loss in our Zodiac, as well as just give us more hit points, and it's going to give us physical amp, which is great. Outside of that, we will likely go with Leo. And as our second, okay, because it's going to give us dodge and projectile. And then I'm not sure, because of the new season, we got tier 10 charms and tier 10 stars. I'm not sure exactly how I can work things out, but likely I will end up with Alyssa or Cathsor in some kind of combination. Alyssa, if we can get to 140, 12% area damage amp is great, but the rest of it, the stuff it gives us, isn't very useful. Cathsor, on the other hand, if we get to 140, we get 8% damage amp, but we also get some damage taken decrease, which again is a problem with this build, as well as some element resist. Early in the build, I will very likely go Hamal, Leo, and then Cathsor. And then when I figure out exactly what I'm doing, I might go to Alyssa. Again, I don't think I will end up doing the fire version of it, but if you were gonna do the fire version, basically all you'd be doing is replacing Hamal with Capri. When it comes to jewels, early on, you're not even really going to look at them or use them because the gear is going to change so quickly. Even if you happen to get jewels, I wouldn't do anything with them yet. I would just kind of hold on to them. As for my gear, again, we haven't changed anything. We're doing fine. We're flying through everything. The only thing we've changed is my bow. Now, you can get away with this for pretty much the entire story as long as you have some kind of resistances, which I do, except for my lightning's effed up right now. I am going to probably break down here and do a little bit of gear. Actually, you know what? Let's just do it right now. So we're going to start with a chest piece. Now, the reason you start with a chest piece when it comes to purchasing gear for resistances is that they have the highest possible rolls overall for resistances. So if you got a same equal tier resist, so you got a tier 5 resist on your shoulders versus tier 5 on your chest will give you a much bigger value. So it's definitely, when it comes to early game, the best thing to do. Now, whether I'm going to go with armor or dodge here comes down to like a lot of things. I always talk about, you have to think about armor as physical resistance. So if your armor is wicked low, like mine currently is, when I get hit physically, it's going to hurt a lot. Now, right now, I don't get hit physically a lot because I kill everything before I get there. So what I will likely do is go with the dodge chest piece, because that way the projectiles that are getting to me have a chance to dodge, and if not, they're getting absorbed by resistance. The only exception to that is arrows, but we just try our best to not get hit by those. Is there anything else? I don't think anything else really big happens in this act, and we don't really do anything special here, so I guess I'm going to get some stuff together, and I'll see you at the beginning of 7. Okay, I broke down and finally just said heck with it and got most of my gear evened out. I didn't bother changing the shoulders because they're doing what I need them to do, which is giving me some resists. Overall, all I really did was shore up my resistances, got myself some armor and some chaos resist, and that was it. I didn't look at anything else in terms of trying to get stronger or anything because I'm killing things smoothly and I don't need to be stronger. I just want to make sure I'm not getting slapped around if I do get hit. I did switch to the higher tier of the physical rings. Now, eventually, you'll get to a point where there are no more flat physical damage rings, and it stops at about tier 30. I'm pretty sure it's tier 33 is the max. And then for a while, it's not even worth switching the ring because that flat physical is so strong. Obviously, we're not there yet, and again, what we're using here is just mishmash. I mean, the belt has what I need, but it's a barrier belt. I don't need barrier. I'm not a barrier user, but the stats on it are good. And that's what you should be thinking about at this point in the game. Not necessarily worrying about min-maxing or trying to get tons of damage, because as long as you are killing things effectively, you don't need to worry about pushing damage. It's the story. You're going to walk through it. Okay, on to Act 7. Okay, we've made it to Act 7. And I've done some upgrading on my runes and stuff. I've got some of them I've got one to legendary, I've got some to rare. The nice thing here is, because even though this isn't the skill we're going to use, as long as we don't awaken this is still going to be what we want. As for the the link runes, we can just transfer those much like we can this when we get our bowgun skill. So level these up appropriately. Make sure you keep your runes leveled and up to the proper rarity. Again, you can see I haven't changed anything. I forgot to link this. I'm going to go do that now. But I haven't changed anything, and I'm still moving smooth. You don't need to make things super complicated, especially when you're going to be changing to something else later. I haven't upgraded. I haven't touched my gear since the last thing. Obviously, it didn't need to do much. It's working fine. As for my Zodiac, we're going down into super speed to get some more attack speed. We probably don't need much more because we're running 2 attack speed links. As for our specialties, we're using the same specialty we're going to be using for the bowgun. We're just avoiding a lot of the bowgun stuff. So this, we're getting amplified damage and hit point absorb, which is something we would like to get. We're getting uplift, again, more attack speed that we probably really don't need right now. In here, we're getting strong winds, light winds, which is great. It's move speed when we're moving, which is awesome, and dampening when we're not. So a few times we have to stop and like shoot a boss or something. Acrobat is going to screw with our critical hit, but we're not crit right now anyway. And then we went down here to projectile damage amp. Obviously, this overheat isn't going to affect us until we become a bowgun user, but this is basically the only thing we can hit right now that's going to give us much of anything, and it's still 8% projectile amp. As for the rest of the Zodiac, eventually we will get super speed, and then in here, sadly, there's not much that's going to help us right now. And if we can avoid putting points in here to get down in here, we probably will. Later on, when we get to being a bowgun, we're going to use AoE and stuff in here will become much more powerful. After super speed, we will likely come down and start to get this physical and stun. After that, we'll get some shock, some additional lightning in here so we can get shock effect. Yeah, okay, on to Act 8. Okay, we have arrived in Act 8. I made a couple of changes here, very, very minor stuff. So I've added buff activation upon crowd control and Shout of Justice. Early in the game, you don't really need to worry about this thing. Later on, it's really nice to have, because as you get stunned, bound, or frozen, this combination will break you out right away. I noticed when I was doing some of the Red Moon domains in the last act, I was getting frozen. I don't like that. I want to be able to break out, so I set this up. I've also added Tenacious Regen, purely as a precautionary measure. I like to use Tenacious Regen as an emergency heal because it will do 19% of my health. At this point, health potions are becoming less and less and less effective, so having this as an emergency heal is really good. The other thing I did here was use one of my selection boxes to get the rune Smash. This is not something I will end up using long term, but it is very, very good in the meantime, because it will do damage and increase your damage per stack as long as you don't crit. Since we're currently not critting anyway, this is a really good rune. I replaced the attack damage link rune because it's the weakest one. So that's what we got. Eventually, once I get through the bulk of the story, I will drop Winding Wind, because it itself is not very good. I'm only using it as the for the extra move speed so I can get through the story quickly. Outside of that, the Zodiac, I finally got some points down here. 2 more points, I'll get to confirm kill. Have increased stun rate and damage against stunned enemies. It'll keep them off of me. It's very, very good. That's it for here. See you in Act 9. Okay, Act 9, last act, we'll be using Piercing Arrow. Only change I made was I upgraded my bow and my quiver. I just bought something at the shop. I bought a stack of 10 and I picked the best ones and I just threw them on. I'm not going for anything too particular. I'm not worried about changing my gear because, again, right now I've got armor and my resistance is where I want them, minus my poison resist right now. chaos resist. I've got some dampening going. The only reason I lost my poison resist was for this, but I don't really care too much. We're not really taking damage in terms of anything, and pretty much everything's dying before we get there. I haven't even upgraded my levels of my runes in a while, so I'm not too worried about getting through this act. We're going to blaze through this thing. I'm going to show just a little bit of play at some point to show the progression of what it looks like right now, although it looks almost exactly the same as before, except I've got 2 extra projectiles now. I just realized I'm in the wrong mode. That's fine, I'll just do it anyway. Okay, see you guys somewhere, and then I'll see you at the end of Act 9. Okay, we've made it. We are finally in Act 10, which means we now have access to be able to purchase bowguns. You can't actually get the bowgun skills. I have gone ahead and got mine from a selection box. So I have Firebomb shot. I've also got Shadow Archer and Convert Physical from boxes. Now, if you don't have access to these, you could use it as is, but I really wouldn't recommend it. What I would do is just stick with the piercing arrow, because without these, it's kind of clunky. So we're going to make the conversion here. I'm also happen to get a copy of the Band of Certainty ring, and since we're going to be using the persistent seal right now anyway, we're going to go with this ring. Also, I just realized I got to get a copy of the Band of Persistence, so we're going to disassemble shop over here. I can't get one from there. I'm dumb. I can get one from... I have selection box. I don't mind wasting one. I'm sure I'm going to regret this later, but that's okay. Right now, we're just going to get persistence. Now, we want persistence because it's going to make us do a lot more damage with our maximized stuff right now. Again, we're going to end up changing this later, but early on, it's going to make such a difference that it's worth doing. Keep in mind when you do this, it takes int to level it up, which means you have to start putting some points into int. Now, later on, you can switch them out, but right now, I don't have squat for int. Let's take a look. I have 30 int, so this thing will not be very high level, which doesn't matter too much, as long as you have the seal active. So overall, what we're going to do here, we're going to switch out this for a bowgun. Okay, I happen to have the Unchanging Light, which is for Firebomb shot. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I have it. We're going to buy another bowgun. We're just going to buy one and slap it in. We're going to look for one that's kind of maybe useful, but for the most part, we're just going to get this thing in there. Band of Certainty, we're just going to pop over top of one of these two. It's going to be this one, because I need the fire resist. So we're going to equip over this guy. And then we're going to do the little flippy flop here. We're going to replace, or use this to level that up. And we're going to replace you with you. Blinding Wind, you're coming out. And what's it going to do? Quick attack? Because you do attack speed, don't you? No, you don't. Physical damage? Yeah, we'll do physical damage. So there we go. We've got our stuff. We're going to use the alchemy desk here to flippy flop. You go onto this. There we go. And now we've got an appropriate level legendary fire bomb shot to work with. So you go in here. We got to get the colors correct. But there we go. That's what we're going to use for right now. Obviously, we're going to make tons and tons of changes as we go. But there, we'll get that. We'll get Firebomb shot here. We'll get Seal of Persistence there. We're going to make sure the colors are correct and get a bowgun. Should be too bad. In fact, wait, are the colors correct already? The colors are correct already. Well, that's just handy. Level it up as much as we can because a couple of those are low level. Then we'll get our other bow gun, and we're just gonna get out there and do it. I'll hold on to these because I can use them to jump start other stuff. So when this starts, it is going to be kind of sluggish. Oh, I literally can't level it up past 1. I have enough int to use it at base level, which is fine. I mean, we don't really care too much. Again, it's not in there for the seal itself. It's in there for Band of Certainty, so that we can do triple maximized, which for starting out is pretty good. Now, once this thing gets awakened is when it really solidifies. And if you're not sure if you're going to like bowgun, I would recommend waiting. Again, keep using piercing arrow until you get an awakening stone, and then go for it then. Obviously, you can do whatever you want, but I found this to be fairly sluggish, as you'll see when I play here. And we don't have any overheat management or anything yet. We are going to make the changes in my Zodiac tree before we go out as well, because I mean that's what you should do. That's what you do. Okay, so there's those. These are going to get just stored for now. Blam. We got to get another bow gun for my other hand, which is no problem because now we can purchase them. Not disassemble. It's not the disassemble. It's a gear shop, Mike. Come on. Come on. You know better than this. We're going to purchase. Take a look. 216 dex. Do we have enough dex to use that? And would it be any good anyway? Not really. What about you? Attack damage. I mean, that's marginally better, but still not what we're looking for. Cold damage, attack damage, maximize damage. We'll take that. Okay, so we need more dex. Do we have enough stats to do that? No, we don't. Are we just going to go without it for now? Are we just going to do one hand until we can get some dex? How much dex do I have? Oh, I just, a couple of levels. Okay, so we're just going to hold on to that bow, throw it in our stash, and just go with the one bow. Again, ideally, either go 2 or get a... what's it called? Not ammo pack, a magazine. Which one? You're the maximizer. Okay. Assemble the other stuff. And I think we're ready to go. You can see the build finally in all its not glory at all, but, you know, kind of close enough. Great. It's all equipped. Okay, let's go see how bad this thing is. Completely not set up properly, but we're going to do it anyway. No, we are not. Zodiac. Caught myself. So the things we need to change in the Zodiac, we need to take these points out of here, okay, and put them into here. We're going to need as much area of effect as we can get. We'll go movement speed only because we want to move through the axe faster. So we're getting AoE from here. We're getting area of effect from there. Both of those are going to be important. The other thing we're going to want eventually... take you out. Oh, okay. So he's got to stay there for now. Eventually, we're gonna want. Where's it? Up here. Over into Annihilation, and we're gonna change these to bowgun related things, which I don't even necessarily know if. No, we need the area of effect down here. Two there, and I'll maximize damage. I mean, we are doing overheat accumulation dampening. Yeah, we'll go up there. Again, early on, you will probably have overheat management issues. Now, as soon as you get to Saludo, you can buy instant acceleration. It's a movement skill that all it really does is cool down your gun a lot. Very, very worth doing. I don't think we need to change necessarily anything here. Overheat. Cool. Max. You know what? Yeah, we will. I don't think I would necessarily go with this later, but for now, I'm going to do that, and I think I'm going to go up here as well. Yeah. Okay. Now we've got it proper. Let's go shoot some stuff in the face. When can you enchant? You can enchant after the story is done. Okay, let's see what we got. Yep, works great. Okay. Now, initially, it's got one big-ass explosion. Works great. But the real magic is when, at least for when I play it, is once you get it awakened and you get the extra explosions, because you can get them with a little bit of AoE, you can get them to overlap, and you're hitting with all three every time. Works really well, shoots really fast. So that, anyways, I'm going to rip through this act and do some changes, and we'll see you at some point. Okay, here we go. Serpens, Domain of Mites. And easy peasy. Okay, we're done Act 10. Now we have access to a couple of things that are going to really help start to pull this build together. The first one is get yourself a copy of Instant Acceleration. You can buy it from the compendium directly. 5,000 gold, get yourself a copy. It's going to be your new move skill. It doesn't move well. It moves a very short distance. It is not a good movement skill. However, it is going to drastically help with your heat management early on here. So we're going to be switching roll for that, okay? The other thing we're going to use is a link selection box. There are other ways to get it because it's just a white. You can get a drop and stuff. You could buy it from the random vendor. But if you have a magic selection box, just go ahead and use it. Is cooler. We're going to link that with it as well. That's going to basically double its effectiveness. It's going to keep, every time you use it, it's going to drop like 20% of your overheat all at once. It's going to keep your nice and cool. Now, keeping it nice and cool is great, but why does it matter? As long as you're not overheating and getting and going into rapid cooling mode where you can't fire, why does it matter? Well, because you want to get a copy of overcooling. It gives a ton of damage amp per 10% of your overheat that remains. So if you can keep it at basically 0, you'll get a ton of amp out of this thing. Now, currently I am taking some damage and stuff, so I'm going to be dropping confidence. Now, eventually I will switch quick attack into something else, probably like earth energy, to get the attack speed that we're looking for. But for the moment, I think confidence is probably our biggest hindrance. So we're going to be switching out confidence with overcooling and roll with instant acceleration. I don't think we're making any other major changes here. We're just doing that so we can keep our cool down and we can keep moving. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, no, wait, there is. Yes, there is. Absolutely is. As soon as you get here, you'll be given a bunch of rewards and stuff. One of them is a charm box that lets you pick a thing. Now, it's for a chaos orb. It's basically entirely there to make you a chaos orb. Now, you might take some of these charms and just put them on, but because this thing is going to not carry over any of the ability on it, just go ahead and make a Hamal, like choose Hamal, and just make a Hamal star. This is going to let you get closer to what we want with Hamal in terms of thing. So we're at 86. We actually just hit the hit point amplification. That's really great. We're going to see if we have any other... Oh, there's another good one. Well, not good. Good for what we have right now. So now we're at 92. It doesn't matter from 80 to 90... Or from 80 to 139 doesn't matter. But if we can get to 140, that's going to be our next big goal. We can't do charm slot upgrades yet. Now, we can do charm upgrades, but we don't have any of the materials to do so. So we're not really in any condition to do much of anything. Make that star, get to 80, get the changes, so get overcooling, get instant acceleration, get a copy of cooler, set that all up, get out there and get going until you can get an awakening for Firebomb shot. Okay, here we go. Act 13. Yes, I skipped over, I think, Act 12 and most of Act 11, because nothing really happens. In terms of what I do to progress, nothing has really changed. I may have leveled up some stuff or rarityed up some stuff, but nothing in my setup has changed. I don't think anything in my gear has changed. I mean, until like a little bit ago, I was still using the level 1 shoulders from literally Act 1. Not sure how I feel about Unchanging Light. I am going to do a little bit of testing with it, but we'll give it an for now. The only major thing that we did is we get our relic. We've leveled it up and whatnot. Now, previously, I would have done things quite a bit different. Right now, because I can't gain access to Overpower, and because Overpower is so effective, I have gone with Boreal as my first relic. Get Overpower with the cooldown and Overpower effect, so that you're gaining more Overpower effect, and it stays up. And hit points, because there's not really much else in here that's particularly... I mean, you could do stun rate and go against stunned enemies, but I already have a ton of stun rate, and the damage against stunned enemies is not much, so I'll just go with the hit points. I'll be doing Spica next for powerful damage. I honestly haven't even thought of what I'm going to be doing third. There's one that does area damage, I think. Yeah, there. I'll probably go with area damage for the next one. And nothing really big is going to happen with what I do until I get to level 78 so that I can awaken my Firebomb shot. Firebomb shot, the awakening that I use, or at least I plan to use, is Source. So the heat explosion duration is more per fire energy. So I am going to end up needing fire energy. Currently, I'm not gaining any fire energy, but I'm going to work on that later. It gives an extra projectile count, and if you can get enough area of effect, you can overlap the explosions and hit them with all three, which becomes very strong. So that's the awakening I'm going to go in for. Outside of that, really nothing else. I do want to do a little bit of play quickly to show the build in its current form before I do the awakening, so you can see the difference. The big change to my character is that I've got the leg bone of the wind. I cannot stress enough how effective these boots are for getting through the goddamn story. It is a ton of movement speed amplification. You move like hot buttered lightning, and it'll get you through the story really quickly. So we're going to do a little tiny bit of mapping here. Bam and move, and bam and move. And so every time I shoot, I do an instant acceleration move to cool me down pretty much instantly, so that the next shot is hitting at maximum power because of overcooling. So that's the build currently. You'll see me again next after I awaken it, and then probably after we start mapping. Okay, it's over. You have reached Soludo, the end of the game, and you are going to start mapping. Now, before we get into much else, you are overwhelmed probably with the amount of things that you can do now that you're done the story. You can now do enchanting and crafting. You will now have access to things like the Constellation of Time, where you get Zodiac Stones. You are going to have access to the mines, where you can get all kinds of things. You're now going to have access to the first part of this, the Custodia area, which is going to give you some access to things. Eventually, you will get access to Tier 14, and that will give you the arena, which is new, and I haven't done much of it, but there's a new item slot that comes along with that, which is this here. There is a lot to do, and what you should do is everything. Like, you don't want to ignore stuff. In terms of what is priority, though, finishing these 2 side stories will give you your last 4 Zodiac points. Up to 100, you're going to get points, and then these 2 will get you the last 4, and they will give you 2 extra points in Specialty 2 and 2 extra points in Specialty 3 in your Zodiac. The blue side story is not important. Its rewards are not important. Nothing about it is important. Don't break your neck trying to finish this jeweler's side story. It's not super important. You'll be able to do the first part of Custodia fairly quickly. Once you can do the second part, when your statue hits 11, I recommend doing it because the rewards are good and the fight is not particularly difficult. So definitely want to finish that off. As what you should do in general at this point is just move through your statue, trying to get its level up, finishing the things, because this will have a huge impact on what can drop, as well as the monster levels and stuff. If you get to a point where you can't beat the statue, what is it, challenge, the statue challenge, then you worry about maybe I should go do some other stuff. But initially, that is what you should do. Now, the other thing you're possibly going to be interested in doing is just trying to get to level 100 as quickly as possible. Depending on how strong you are, the Constellation is a great way to do it. If you can get one of these memories to Legendary and run it, they drop a ton of XP at Legendary. It's a really, really good way to get through to level 100 very quickly. Getting one of these to Legendary, depending on what access to stuff you have, can actually be pretty easy. So generally, I like to do ores. He's the easiest to loop. If you don't know what looping is, look at my Constellation of Time video. I explained it in there. So I'm going to go ahead and buy that, and I'm going to buy this Memory Expansion Stone, because that will help me get it to the higher level. Because I just got here myself. So I'm going to, where is it? Traces of Memory, no, not Traces of Memory. World Memory Tier. I don't have enough to do ores yet, do I? It costs 2, doesn't it? Wait, what? Oh, that's the other thing. I'm on the wrong one. We want grade. That's the one we want. So ores, I'm going to level it, or increase its rarity to blue. Then I'm going to need yellow and red ones of these to go higher. The nice thing about that is you can buy them for next to nothing in the guild. So we're going to go hop in there and buy those for guild points. I'm pretty sure they're still in here and they're cheap, right? Aren't they? Yeah, so I'm going to buy these so that I can level that one up, and then I think we can get red somewhere. We'll find out. We'll find out. Plus, it gets you some achievements by spending guild points. Ting, 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 ting. So the ore shop, I think, is the other spot that has the thing we're looking for. Yes, right there. 17,000 points. We're going to purchase one of those so we can make that a legendary. Now, it's going to take a bit of time, so we're not going to just sit here and wait. But that's what I'm going to be starting with. I'm going to be running a Constellation of Time and looping it. Along with that, we will, when we're done, we'll get some Zodiac Stones, which we could potentially put into our Zodiac. And we'll get some of these, which we can then use to either boost our next Constellation or use them to engrave the stones. That's a whole separate thing we're not worried about necessarily talking about here. The other things you want to be doing new to, a new character, season, whatever, is making sure that you're doing your bounties every day, because a lot of the stuff you're really, really going to want is in here, like charm essences, and, I mean, it's pretty much the only way you can get a core or a soul gem, and some of these actually make a pretty big difference. So you're going to be doing bounties, as well as you should be doing your dailies. You can re-roll the rewards, which is what I'm going to be doing until I find one of these, because these are fairly important for your charm setups. And then you just run maps of that area, and you're going to get things. Cool. The other thing you're going to want to start to look into now that you're here is your charm setup. Your charm setup is going to be very important. Do I not have enough? I did it again. I went to the wrong one. Your charm setup is going to be very, very important to your overall. And now that you're sort of in the beginning of the end game, you should be working on your charm slot upgrades. Getting these is going to be very important to getting your blessings the way you want and getting the mods on the charms that you have to be better. So you, again, separate video about this, but basically you put whatever this is to get the things and then level them up. The thing you will need eventually, early on you won't need them, but eventually you're going to need a type of material. I don't even know what it's called off the top of my head, but you're going to need those to upgrade them further. Now, you can get those in a couple of different places. You can get them in the mines. You can get them in Custodia. One of the bigger places, especially for the one you need for your star upgrade, these things here. So they're star fusers. That's what they're called. The high star fusers only drop in one place, and that is the tier 11 map, crafted map, Ilia. Ilia's room or something like that. So that's something you won't be able to access yet. You can buy them on the auction house, obviously, if people have them, but you need to get your statue to level 20, which is why I say prioritizing your statue over other things. Outside of that, there's raids and a lot of other things to do, but that's sort of the end of this section of the video. Now, the next section of the video that I'm going to come back to will be me optimizing the build a bit and other stuff. But there you go. That's this. Eventually, I'm going to throw this together and get it on YouTube. Probably not today, though. So that's me progressing this character to this point, and then the next time you'll see me in a separate video is going to be progressing this character further. With that said, I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next set. Okay, so here's some just gameplay of this build at its current level. Again, we're 99, we're going to be 100 here in a minute, which is I'm going to do the rest of the video. But you can see how it plays. You gotta make sure you're using the movement skill, instant acceleration, with preferably cooler attached to it, to keep the cooldown, or keep your weapon cool, because you gain more damage when you are cool with this setup. But yeah, just using the movement skill frequently keeps it nice and cool. You don't have to worry too much. Outside of that, you know, it seems to be doing fine. This is on a 141 map. I've pushed as high as 143 currently, but it takes a little too long for my liking. You can see that I'm finishing this map up in about 5 minutes here. And that's full clear. Just realized I missed a portal back there, but that's okay, we'll go back. So yeah, there's the build so far. I will be pushing the hell out of this season, so expect a more detailed build guide in the future when I convert to crit, or if I convert to grit, and when I put on other things. But for now, that's the build. Okay, I've hit Rune Master 1, level 100. I've just about got my statue to 20. I feel like this is probably a good stopping point for this video. I know I talked about it in another section that was going to be the end, but we're going to stop here. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what I'm currently using and what I plan to go for with what I've got. Now, I haven't changed much in terms of anything on here. In fact, this isn't even active. So I haven't changed my rune board at all, and I am comfortably clearing 141s. I've been able to do 143s without any real issues. I've upgraded a few things in terms of levels, I've upgraded a few things in terms of rarity, but nothing else has changed, and the build is doing fine. So that's what I'm currently using. What I will be adding soon will be Illusion Axe, so that I can get Extract Energy, equipped to it, and it will hopefully get some fire energy so I can see how effective getting fire energy, etc., all that stuff, because I'm honestly not certain how important this is. I feel like it is, but so far the build's been doing great without it, so I haven't been using it. I will be, and I will probably end up switching quick attack to some kind of extract physical or something, and I maybe will link it. I don't know. I don't know what my plan is exactly for that. But Illusion Axe is going to be in here for sure. We're going to get Seal of Defense in here for sure. But honestly, I'm not planning on changing too much for the mid-section of the game. I won't be switching to crit until much later when I have got a better overall situation. As for my Zodiac right now, I'm going to go through it really quick. The first few have not changed. I've got group defense up there. I've got some stuff down here. This isn't going to stay either. Neither is group defense when I finally get farther. We've got the physical stun stuff, which is great. Here I'm trying to get down to decertification to get a little more AoE. Extra light or added lightning damage is great. We've done some physical stuff. We've got some penetration thing. The one major thing I have changed from the other stuff in the video is I've changed my specialty. I've gone over into Hammer because there's a ton of area of effect. And once you awaken Firebomb shot to the Source Awakening, you get 3 projectiles. And if you can get your area of effect high enough, they overlap and you're hitting 3 times with the same shot, which is the point. So that's really what you should be aiming for. Get this awakened and then get AoE. So with that, I have gone away from the bowgun thing over to here. Now this is not a permanent change necessarily. This is purely to get AoE. Now, when I get sources of AoE later, I will probably come back and change this. The downside of this is you're going to have to manage your overheat a little more, which means using more instant acceleration. Make sure you get cooler equipped to it. With instant acceleration and cooler, 3 instant accelerations, and you can go from 100% to 0. Okay, so just using instant acceleration keeps you cooled down. But I've gone in here for the area of effect there, area of effect, area damage amp, some speed stuff, and up here also some area of effect. I went down into element resist just, kind of because, actually, you know what, I'm going to take that point and go put it in decertification. So we get more AoE. So that's the build there. The relic, I'm keeping Boreal for the overpower. Cathsor, I've switched to Cathsor to try and get that right there that I just got. Again, more area of effect, more area damage, which is great. That's stuff we want. Outside of that, I haven't really done too much with the build in terms of what I haven't shown in the video, or what I've shown in the video. I got a couple of charm slot upgrades. This one for blessing, so I can get Cathsor past 80. I've got Hamal to 150. I don't think I did too much else. I worked a little bit on the gear. So I've got a weapon. You really want to make sure you get a bowgun, at least early on here, that's got absorb on attack hit. This bowgun, Unchanging Light, even though its stats are horrendous, this changes the basic duration of heat explosion to 0.6 seconds, is super powerful. Really, really strong. Obviously, I'm going to try to get the Transcendent version from the current event, and then I don't know if what I'm going to do with it. I might end up, hopefully I'd like to get it into the Lacrima. Outside of that, I haven't really changed much in terms of gear. I've got resource cost reduction on the belt. Mana is starting to become a tiny bit of an issue. Not a major issue, but it is something you're going to want to watch. I got resource cost dampening shoulders. I have resource cost dampening gloves that I'm going to be equipping. I'll probably throw some basic blue resource cost jewels on as well. Outside of that, we're really just looking for dampening and stuff, which I've got on the chest piece and in my Lacrima, because I just used literally the first Lacrima I got. I've got dampening on a shield and dampening on a chest piece. So my resistances and stuff are very solid. with this being effectively a melee character, making sure your defenses are good. So I've got decent dampening, I've got capped resists, capped chaos. My armor is definitely an issue, which is why I'm going to be using the armor seal when I get it, probably from guild raids tonight. My dodge is low currently, and we will be working on that as we work on gear. Now that I am Rune Master, I will be putting all of my first points into the block expertise in the Rune Master down at the bottom here, because that's going to make a big difference in terms of defense. Where is it? Where are you? Right there, block expertise. So we're going to max block expertise and block percent. You do not have to have a shield equipped to take the benefit of this. And again, because we're close range, having this defense is really good. Outside of that, the rest of the build's going fine. I haven't done anything particularly important. Yes, this is legendary, but it doesn't do anything. The extra doesn't do anything for me. I think I've thrown on a jewel somewhere for some chaos resist. Eventually, I'm going to get some other jewels in here, but that'll be part of the mid-game video that'll come out next. So hopefully this helps. If you have questions about the build or where I'm going with it or why I've made certain choices, obviously let me know. Otherwise, get out there, get grinding, and have fun.